Have you ever wondered what gradient boosting means in data science? It sounds like a complex term, doesn't it? But don't worry, it's not as intimidating as it sounds. Imagine you're trying to solve a puzzle. You start with one piece, try to find where it fits, and then, based on where that piece goes, you find the next piece, and so on. This is, in essence, how gradient boosting works. It's a machine learning technique that builds one model at a time, then improves upon it with each subsequent model. So, how does this work exactly? Well, gradient boosting begins by fitting an initial model to the data. This could be as simple as a single variable. The first model, unsurprisingly, probably won't be very good. It will make errors. But here's where the magic happens. Gradient boosting learns from those mistakes. It's like if you were playing a game of darts and you missed the bullseye on your first throw. You'd adjust your aim based on where your dart landed, wouldn't you? That's what gradient boosting does. It creates a residual, which is just a fancy term for the difference between the predicted and actual values. This residual is then used to build the next model, and the process repeats, with each new model aiming to correct the errors of the last. The gradient in gradient boosting comes from the fact that it uses a method called gradient descent. This is a mathematical way of finding the minimum value of a function. In the context of gradient boosting, it's used to find the best way to reduce the errors from the previous model. Now, you might be thinking, but what stops gradient boosting from just making models indefinitely? That's a great question. The answer is that a parameter called the learning rate is used to control the process. This learning rate determines how much each new model corrects the errors of the previous one. If the learning rate is too high, the model might overcorrect and become inaccurate. If it's too low, the model might take too long to improve. It's a delicate balancing act. So, to summarize, gradient boosting is a powerful machine learning technique that builds models iteratively, learning from the errors of the previous models and improving upon them. It uses a method called gradient descent to find the best way to reduce these errors and a parameter called the learning rate to control the process. It's like a puzzle solver, constantly adjusting and improving until the picture becomes clear. So the next time you hear the term gradient boosting, remember, it's not so scary. It's just a tool, a very clever tool used to make sense of complex data and make accurate predictions. And that, in a nutshell, is gradient boosting in data science. It's a journey of continual learning and improvement, one step at a time. It's a testament to the power of learning from mistakes and the importance of persistence. So don't let the jargon intimidate you. After all, even the most complex concepts can be broken down into simple, understandable parts. Happy learning.